Life is too short to be lived in a way that doesn't bring happiness or fulfillment. Given this, an inevitable question arises. What is the best choice you can make to change this? The answer may seem complex, but by the end of this video, you will have a clear plan in hand to start transforming your reality. The key to living a life that you are truly proud of lies in how you understand the present and how it connects to the future you want to build. This means that by being fully aware of the here and now, you can make wiser and more targeted decisions to achieve your long-term goals. And it is very important to understand the present moment. This allows you to recognize your strengths and weaknesses, develop a clear vision of your goals, learn from past mistakes and experiences, cultivate meaningful relationships, find a balance between work and leisure. In addition, understanding how the present connects to the future allows you to set realistic goals, plan strategies to achieve them, develop resilience and adaptability, and cultivate a mindset of continuous growth. Therefore, it is essential to live the present with intensity and purpose, recognizing its fundamental role in building a future that reflects your values, dreams, and aspirations. By doing so, you can create an authentic and fulfilling existence. Often, what we are experiencing now is not aligned with what we aspire to in the future. Routine, automatic choices, or even fear of change can keep us stuck on a path that does not lead to fulfillment. But this can change, and we are here to help you find that balance again and redirect your journey towards a more promising future that is aligned with your dreams. The first step towards any significant transformation in life is to make the decision that change is necessary. This choice may seem simple, but it carries immense power. Before taking any action, it is important to take a moment to reflect on the long-term impact of the choices you are making today. Close your eyes and imagine yourself in the future, 5 or 10 years from now, following exactly the same path you are taking now. Visualize your life. What would it be like? Is there satisfaction in the details? Do you feel proud and fulfilled when you look at yourself in this projection? If the answer to these questions is not positive, this is a clear sign that something needs to be adjusted. This moment of insight is like a wake-up call, a reminder that life does not change on its own. True transformation begins the moment you decide to take control of your destiny. The now is powerful. It is your chance to redefine the path you are following. If you want a different life, more aligned with your dreams and goals, the choice to act must begin precisely at this moment. It is here and now that your new journey can take shape. Change is, above all, a decision. And this word carries a much deeper meaning than it seems at first glance. Its origin is linked to the concept of incision, which means to cut. When you decide, you do exactly that. You cut off other possibilities, eliminate alternative paths, and commit to a choice. However, many people avoid this decisive moment and, over time, become complacent. This conformism slowly gives way to regret, which only grows as the years go by. When they realize it, they are no longer just dissatisfied spectators, but often agents of negativity, contributing to a toxic cycle in society. It is common for people to wish they had done more, to have been more. Everyone dreams of looking back with pride, but when the time comes to act, many put it off. They push their changes to an imaginary tomorrow, a day that never comes. This procrastination is a kind of trap that imprisons the potential of each individual, perpetuating a feeling of dissatisfaction. There is a powerful phrase that encapsulates this dilemma. Insanity is repeating the same acts expecting different results. If the actions you are taking now are not leading you to the destination you desire, then this is a warning that something needs to change. This is the time to face reality and decide. Are you willing to be content with what you have, or are you going to put all your effort into transforming your life? And transformation requires exactly that. Giving it your all. After all, building the person you want to be will require every part of who you are today. It's a total commitment, but the reward is a life that reflects your dreams and your true potential. The second step in your transformation journey is to create a plan for the next 6 months. This is where the idea of change stops being just a vague wish and becomes something concrete and achievable. After all, a goal without a plan is just a dream, and unless you believe in magical genies granting wishes, the truth is that without planned action, you won't get very far. 6 months is more than enough to start changing your life. In just half a year, you can completely transform yourself, as long as you adopt a structured approach. This process can be divided into 3 main steps. The first is defining. This means creating a detailed vision of who you want to be and what your new life will be like. Visualize yourself in the future and ask yourself, who is this new person? How do they behave? What do they do on a daily basis? How do they eat? Where do they live and who do they associate with? The more specific the description, the clearer your direction will be. Many people use visual aids, such as vision boards or collages of images that represent their goals, to help them stay focused on this new reality. The second step is to break down that big goal into smaller, actionable pieces. This is where you need to identify what you need to take with you into this new life and what you need to leave behind. This is where many people fail because they don't know how to turn a dream into actionable actions. Think about the resources, skills, or changes you'll need to get started. What are the minimum skills you need to develop? What financial investments will be required? What tools will make your transition easier? If your goal involves changing jobs, how many interviews will you need to schedule? And how much money will you need to secure your life while you take these first steps? The answers will be unique to each person, so do your due diligence and try to cover all possible angles. Finally, it's important to focus on gaining traction. At this early stage, the focus should be less on the long-term plan and more on the immediate actions you can take to start moving forward. One step at a time is enough to get the ball rolling. The secret is to be prepared, because the more clarity and organization you have at the beginning, the greater your chances of success. 6 months may seem like a short period of time, but with determination and planning, they can be the beginning of an amazing transformation. The third step to a great new beginning involves a real commitment, both financially and in terms of effort. It's easy to dream of change and imagine a better future, but any significant transformation requires investment. Committing money and effort doesn't just mean spending resources randomly. It's about directing them towards actions that boost your personal, professional, or emotional development. This commitment is what separates superficial desires from concrete goals, because when we put something of value at stake, we are truly dedicating ourselves to the change. Investing money is a way to make the transformation tangible. When we spend money on something important for our growth, we are telling ourselves that it has value and deserves our attention. For example, imagine that you want to improve your physical and mental health. Making a financial commitment can mean paying for a gym membership, hiring a personal trainer, or investing in healthier, more nutritious foods. These actions create a greater sense of responsibility, because no one likes to waste money. When you realize that the investment is underway, you will feel motivated to use these resources fully, making the habit a natural part of your routine. Likewise, effort also needs to be intentional. It is the engine that transforms opportunities into achievements. Let's say you are looking for a new job in an area that requires skills that you have not yet fully mastered. A practical example would be enrolling in a refresher or professional training course. This not only involves a financial cost, but also the commitment to dedicate time, energy, and focus to learning and growing. Taking classes, exercising, and applying what you have learned in your daily life shows that you are serious about the change. This constant effort is what drives real and sustainable results. Fourth step: personal development. Suppose you want to improve your self-esteem or expand your perspectives. This could mean investing in therapy sessions or self-development workshops. The money you spend on these experiences is not a cost, but an investment in yourself, while the effort is in opening yourself up to the process, confronting internal challenges, and applying the lessons learned to your everyday life. Financial commitment and dedicated effort act as catalysts for any great new beginning. When we commit in this way, we send a clear message to ourselves. We are willing to invest in our future. This combination creates a solid foundation for change, aligning our daily actions with the goals we want to achieve. It is this determination that turns dreams into reality. Step 5. Committing money and effort is when, for example, we decide to improve our physical health. By investing in a gym or hiring a personal trainer, we are allocating financial resources directly to our transformation. But money alone is not enough. It requires the effort of showing up regularly, following instructions, and maintaining discipline. This shows that we are committed to building a habit that will bring lasting benefits. Step 6 is learning a new skill to advance in your career. Imagine that you want to learn a language or master a software necessary for a promotion. In this case, the financial investment can be directed towards specialized classes or courses. However, the effort comes into play when dedicating hours of study, practicing outside of class, and applying the knowledge in real situations. This combination of money and dedication is what guarantees progress and significant results. With your written plan, you have established a solid anchor for the future you want to build. Now, it's time to get off the drawing board and into action. The next step is to start developing a new set of skills. This step requires genuine and consistent effort, because transforming yourself into a new version of yourself is not something that happens without challenges. Effort here is not optional. It is essential. It means tackling tasks that may initially seem uncomfortable, complex, or even daunting. It is normal for learning to seem difficult at first, but the key is to accept this difficulty as part of the process and dive in head first. Building new skills requires daily practice and discipline, because the future you want depends directly on this initial period. Imagine yourself as an athlete training for a big competition. Just as they need to practice relentlessly, strengthen their fundamentals, and push themselves beyond their own limits, you also need to commit to learning, even if the initial progress seems slow or some activities cause embarrassment. This discomfort is the price of admission to success. Remember that the foundations you're building now will be the foundation for everything else, so it's essential to devote attention and energy to making them solid and well-structured. One of the best strategies for ensuring consistency in this process is to create a schedule for yourself. When your goal is clear and important to you, committing to a routine of daily learning and practice won't be as difficult as it may seem. The key is to stay focused on the results you want to achieve. These results will serve as fuel for those moments when motivation seems to flag. Whenever you feel like giving up, ask yourself, what if this new skill really changes my life? That perspective can be enough to keep you going. It's amazing how 6 months of dedication and discipline can make a significant difference. People often underestimate the impact of short periods of focus, but the progress you can make in that time can be astonishing. The next step in this reinvention process is to connect with the new world you want to live in. That means adjusting your plan based on real-world experiences and looking for ways to accelerate your growth. One of the most effective methods is to find someone who is already where you want to be. This could be a mentor who is willing to guide you, or even someone you can watch and emulate. By learning directly from someone who has already walked the path, you save time and avoid unnecessary mistakes, speeding up your journey to the new you. Put energy into these goals and intentions. Wake up earlier if necessary, sleep later if necessary, cancel parties if necessary. Put energy and pleasure into them with the same desire you have for a big bucket of ribs with barbecue sauce, or with the same willingness to travel miles and miles to see someone you love. 7th, don't be afraid to fail. Well, the secret is simple but powerful. Where you are today is your starting point, your baseline. No matter how difficult or unfulfilling it is, it will always be there as a kind of solid ground. If your attempts to change don't work in the next 6 to 12 months, you can simply go back to that place. So you really have nothing to lose except a little time that will bring you experiences if something goes wrong. Walt Disney's story of a new beginning is a powerful example of how resilience and vision can transform failures into extraordinary achievements. Born in 1901 in Chicago, Walt Disney grew up in a humble family and showed an early interest in drawing and animation. His career, however, was marked by almost insurmountable challenges that shaped his trajectory as one of the greatest visionaries in the history of entertainment. Disney initially worked as a commercial artist, but his desire was to create something bigger. In 1920, he founded his first company, Laugh-O-Gram Studio, where he produced short animated films. Despite his evident talent, the company faced financial difficulties and eventually went bankrupt. Walt then moved to Hollywood with just $40 in his pocket, determined not to give up on his dreams. It was in partnership with his brother Roy that Walt founded the Disney Brothers Studio, later known as the Walt Disney Company. They began producing animated shorts starring Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. However, in 1928, Walt faced a harsh lesson. He lost the rights to the character and part of his team to an unscrupulous distributor. Despite the scam, this episode became the catalyst for the creation of one of the most iconic characters in history, Mickey Mouse. Mickey made his debut in Steamboat Willie, the first cartoon with synchronized sound, and was an immediate success. Still, the challenges did not end. During the production of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the first animated feature film in history, many critics doubted its success, calling the project Disney's folly. Walt mortgaged his house to finance the film, which ended up becoming a landmark in the history of cinema and cemented the studio as an animation giant. Even after achieving success, Walt continued to reinvent himself. He expanded his vision beyond animation, creating theme parks that transported people to fantasy worlds. Disneyland, which opened in 1955, faced initial setbacks but soon became a worldwide success. He later began planning an even more ambitious project, Disney World. Although he did not live to see it completed, his vision came to fruition, and the park became one of the most visited destinations in the world. Walt Disney's story is not just about success, but about perseverance in the face of failure. He turned every setback into an opportunity to grow, always believing in the power of his imagination. His legacy continues to inspire dreamers of all ages, proving that starting over, even in the most difficult times, can lead to extraordinary achievements. The fear of failure is what often paralyzes people, but it's important to understand that your current life is like the bottom floor in a building. It's the lowest point to which you can return. If you have the courage, intelligence, and willingness to invest in yourself, your life can only get better from here. The door to the next step is open, and it's up to you to walk through it. And the best part? If what you find on the other side isn't what you imagined, there's always a way to go back. It may not be the same job, the same apartment, or the same routine, but in the big picture, it won't matter much. The choice is yours. You can try something new or stay exactly where you are. Time will keep passing, no matter what you decide. That means that in a year, you'll be somewhere, whether it's the same life you're living now or a new reality you've decided to build. Ask yourself, where do I want to be in 12 months? This is where an essential lesson that has been repeated over and over again comes in. People tend to overestimate what they can do in a month and vastly underestimate what they can accomplish in a whole year. Now is the time to embrace the opportunity before you and take the first step. After all, the worst that can happen is that you discover that trying was worth more than regretting never having tried. When you finally decide to move, your initial focus becomes one goal: survival. In the first few days or weeks, everything revolves around finding ways to support yourself, cover the basics, and figure out where to live. This phase is not about comfort or luxury, and certainly not about comparing your new reality to your old one. It is a time of transition, and transitions are almost always uncomfortable. Often, it feels like everything is out of place, but it is important to remember that this is part of the process. Yes, it can be difficult at first. Things may seem like a mess, and the new routine may be challenging. But here is the crucial point. You are doing exactly what you always said you would do. The thing that you may have put off for years or that other people doubted you would be able to do. Look at yourself at this moment. You are rising to the challenge. You are breaking out of inertia and building something new, and that in itself is already a huge achievement. In this beginning, the focus should not be on perfection or the search for immediate stability, but rather on surviving and adapting. It is normal for the first few weeks to be difficult and for you to miss a life that, although unsatisfactory, was familiar. However, this initial difficulty is temporary. It's important to remember that what you're experiencing right now is the building of a new foundation. Just as a house needs solid foundations to support everything else, you need to establish your foundations before you can move on to something more elaborate or comfortable. In the beginning, what matters is that you're moving. You're taking action instead of dreaming or planning forever. This is powerful, because it's in the movement that real change happens. No matter how challenging it may be, each day you overcome is proof that it's possible. Over time, things will fall into place. Comfort, stability, and higher dreams will start to fall into place, but it all depends on your ability to get through the initial period. Survive now. The rest will come later, as a reward for your effort and courage to start over. 8th step. Show yourself that you can sustain your new lifestyle in the long term. This doesn't just mean living this new reality, but internalizing it to the point where it becomes an integral part of who you are. The initial discomfort begins to give way to familiarity, and what once seemed strange and challenging begins to shape itself as your new normal. This is the moment when the transition stops being a passing experience and becomes consolidated as your true identity. For example, you really want to have a Porsche and idealize it, and you start to imagine this dream becoming a reality, but then in the midst of your good thoughts, bad and doubtful thoughts arise, such as, "But the tax is too high, how will I pay it? Or, I won't have a place to store it. My garage is easy to access. What will I do? Or even, wow, some people will envy me. I can't have such a luxury. And so, dozens of these negative thoughts arise, and this is normal. But learn to master your mind. Understand that if there is a possibility of purchase, the extra resources will also appear. Master your mind. As you progress, you will notice that what previously required conscious effort now becomes second nature. You develop habits, create routines, and implement systems that support your progress. This new lifestyle stops being just an attempt and begins to take root as an improved version of your reality. The discomfort of learning something new or adapting to changes gradually gives way to the comfort of mastering these new conditions. At this stage, it is essential to create structures that support your continued growth. Think about how to establish systems that make your routine more efficient and keep you aligned with your goals. It can be something as simple as organizing your schedule to include time for self-care, or something more comprehensive, like investing in tools and resources that make the path easier. The more solid the system you create, the more sustainable your progress will be. This transition is remarkable because, in addition to solidifying your new lifestyle, it redefines your perception of what is possible. What began as a conscious and deliberate effort now becomes part of your essence. You are not just living in a new reality. You have become someone who thrives in this environment, someone who can continually grow and evolve. The most powerful thing is that, throughout this process, you prove to yourself that you are capable of adapting, changing, and achieving. Each small victory adds up, reinforcing your confidence and motivation. You are no longer the person who started this journey. You are someone who has chosen a new path, built something meaningful, and, most importantly, shown yourself that you can sustain and expand this change over time. This is the true essence of transforming a dream into a lasting reality. Step 9. With your life already gaining momentum and big goals looming on the horizon, there is one key aspect that cannot be ignored: the social circle you build along the way. More than simply having company, the people you choose to surround yourself with can directly shape who you become. There is a powerful phrase that says, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Think about that for a moment. The opinions, behaviors, values, and even the life outcomes of the people around you can influence you profoundly, sometimes in ways you don't even realize. That's why building an intentional social circle is not just a detail, but an essential strategy for achieving a fulfilling and successful life. When you are surrounded by motivated, inspiring people who share your vision of growth, something magical happens. You are constantly challenged to grow. These people become mirrors and examples of possibility, helping you see what you, too, are capable of achieving. On the other hand, if your environment is dominated by negativity, pessimism, or stagnation, it is almost inevitable that this will also reflect on your mindset and actions. True friends don't just make moments lighter and more enjoyable. They also act as a safety net. They are the people who will be there to celebrate your victories and offer support in difficult times. More than that, they can help you see opportunities where you only see challenges. They are the ones who, through words or actions, inspire courage in moments of doubt and encourage you to take the next step, even when everything seems uncertain. Building a healthy social circle requires intention and often stepping outside of your comfort zone. It's important to cultivate relationships with people who uplift, challenge, and inspire you. This doesn't mean abandoning old friendships, but rather balancing your circle so that it aligns with the kind of life you want to build. Attending events, groups, and communities where you can find individuals with similar values and goals is a great place to start. Be intentional about investing time and energy in people who add value to your life, and be willing to give the same in return. Also, not all connections need to be with people who share the same dreams or lifestyle as you. Sometimes the most transformative relationships come from people with completely different perspectives and experiences than your own. These friendships can open your mind to new ways of thinking and acting, expanding your horizons in powerful ways. On the other hand, be aware of negative influences. If you notice that certain people drain your energy, demotivate you, or make you doubt your abilities, it may be time to reevaluate those connections. This doesn't mean cutting ties abruptly or being indifferent, but rather prioritizing relationships that nourish your soul and encourage your growth. Remember, the people you choose to keep around you are a reflection of the kind of life you are building. Each interaction has the power to shape your mindset, whether for success or stagnation. So choose wisely. A well-built social circle not only enriches your journey, but also makes it lighter, more meaningful and full of possibilities. After all, your friends are not just company. They are the partners who walk alongside you as you become the best version of yourself. But remember, maintaining a well-defined social circle also implies setting personal and financial goals. And this goes beyond planning for 6 months. These initial goals will help you get organized, but larger financial and personal goals in the long term will move your life forward, avoiding unnecessary spending just for status. Filter what can be done and what could be harmful. This process is not only a practical task, but also a profound exercise in self-knowledge, which forces us to reflect on our desires, ambitions, and priorities. It is through these goals that we can direct our efforts, organize our resources, and, most importantly, create a clear meaning for our actions. Personal goals have to do with the type of person you want to become, live with, and the experiences you want to have. They can range from something simple, such as dedicating more time to reading or adopting healthier habits, to larger objectives, such as learning a new skill, building meaningful relationships, or fulfilling a long-held dream, such as traveling to a special place. When setting these goals, it is important to look at what really matters to you, without being influenced by standards imposed by society or the expectations of others. Your personal goals should reflect your values and the type of life you consider ideal. On the other hand, financial goals are directly related to how you want to use and manage your money to achieve a stable, comfortable life that is aligned with your larger goals. These can include paying off debt, saving for a big project like buying a house, investing for the future, or simply creating an emergency fund for unexpected situations. Setting financial goals requires an honest look at your current situation, a clear understanding of your future needs and desires, and a good dose of discipline to stay focused on what really matters. Both personal and financial goals need to be specific, realistic, and well-defined. It's not enough to say, "I want to be happier," or "I want to make more money." You need to detail exactly what happiness means to you or how much money is needed to achieve your goals. This level of clarity transforms vague desires into concrete goals that can be pursued with determination. Another key aspect is setting deadlines. Goals without a defined deadline run the risk of becoming intentions that are endlessly postponed. Setting a timeline helps you stay focused and creates a sense of urgency, which is essential to avoiding procrastination. If you want to save a specific amount, for example, determine the exact time frame for this and calculate how much you need to save each month to reach your goal. The connection between personal and financial goals is also important. Achieving our personal goals often depends on financial resources, while financial success is often tied to the clarity of our personal goals. For example, if your personal goal is to travel the world, you will need financial planning to fund these experiences. Likewise, if your financial goal is to build up a nest egg for the future, it will be easier to do so if you know exactly what you want to use that money for, such as a comfortable retirement or the fulfillment of a dream. It is essential to remember that goals do not have to be fixed or unchanging. Throughout life, our circumstances and priorities change, and it is natural that our goals will need to be adjusted as well. The most important thing is to maintain a clear intention to continue evolving, learning from mistakes, and celebrating each achievement along the way. Setting personal and financial goals is not just about reaching a destination, but about enjoying the journey and becoming a more complete and fulfilled person. Step 10 is a very satisfying process. Imagine, for a moment, what it would be like to provide the people you love most with the best that life has to offer. Think about the joy of being able to provide comfort, security, and unforgettable experiences to your family, without worries or limitations. This is a thought that warms the heart, but it also makes us reflect on what we are doing today to make this vision a reality. It is not just about material goods, but about building a solid foundation for a prosperous and meaningful future, both for you and for those around you. Providing the best for your family begins with the awareness that they deserve it as much as you do. They deserve the love, care, and opportunities that the world can offer. Imagine your children growing up in an environment where they have access to the best education, enriching experiences, and moments that will shape their lives in a positive way. Visualize the feeling of being able to provide your parents or spouse with a lifestyle that reflects how much you value the effort, support, and love they have always given you. But to get there, you need to take the first step. Many times, we think that providing the best for our family is only linked to financial achievements. While economic stability is an important element, The true value lies in the transformation you are able to make within yourself. When you commit to personal growth, skill development, and building an abundance mindset, everything starts to fall into place. Your efforts become more focused, your choices wiser, and opportunities that once seemed far away start to become possible. Providing the best also means being present. Your family deserves the best of your attention, patience, and time. Imagine the impact of sharing meaningful moments where everyone feels valued and loved. This is something that no amount of money can buy, but it is equally essential to building an environment of happiness and togetherness. Too often, we are so consumed by the pursuit of external achievements that we forget that what really matters are the connections we nurture with those we love most. When envisioning providing the best for your family, it is important to remember that this does not just mean material goods. It is about creating memories, cultivating values, and providing experiences that transform everyone's lives for the better. It's the smile on your children's faces when they see that their dreams are being supported, the pride in your parents when they realize how much you've grown, and the joy of knowing that you're building a legacy that transcends generations. The journey to providing the best for yourself and your family requires effort, sacrifice, and, above all, a clear vision of what you want to achieve. But the rewards are incalculable. There is no greater feeling than looking around you and seeing that your efforts have created an environment where everyone thrives, where every person you love feels like they are living a full and happy life. So, start today. Imagine yourself achieving what you have always dreamed of and turning it into benefits for your family. Visualize each step of the way, each achievement, and use that vision as fuel to keep going. Your family deserves the best, and so do you. Together, you can build a life that reflects all the love, dedication, and ambition that unites you. Extra tip: investing in yourself is, without a doubt, the most valuable decision you can make. There is no resource more precious than the time and energy you dedicate to your personal growth, and few things have as much impact on your life as the knowledge you acquire. When you choose to study, you learn to open doors that previously seemed locked and discover ways to overcome barriers that, at first glance, seemed insurmountable. It is an act of courage, because it involves recognizing that there is more to know and accepting that learning never ends. The act of studying goes beyond simply accumulating information. It is about developing skills, broadening horizons, and refining the way you see the world. It is through learning that you connect with new ideas, understand different perspectives, and find creative solutions to the challenges you face. Regardless of the area you choose to explore, the knowledge acquired always finds a way to transform your life for the better. When you decide to invest in yourself through studying, you are building a foundation for the future. The job market, for example, is constantly evolving, and the skills that were relevant yesterday may no longer be sufficient tomorrow. By continuing to learn, you stay up to date and relevant, paving the way for new opportunities. But studying is not just about your career. It is also about self-knowledge. Each new thing you learn reveals more about who you are, what you like, and what you want for your life. Dedicating yourself to studying also teaches discipline and resilience. It takes effort to open a book, attend a class, or practice a new skill when the world around you offers so many distractions. However, it is precisely in this effort that you find growth. The journey of learning requires patience, but each step you take brings rewards. What may seem complicated or unattainable today will tomorrow be a natural skill, the result of the time and dedication you put in. In addition, investing in yourself through learning is a way to build confidence. The more you know, the more capable you feel of facing challenges. The feeling of understanding a complex concept or mastering a new skill is incredibly powerful. This confidence spills over into other areas of your life, allowing you to face situations with greater determination and clarity. And don't think that investing in studying has to be something grand or expensive. Sometimes, small actions can bring about big changes. Reading a book, watching educational videos, participating in workshops, signing up for online courses, or simply searching for information on a topic that intrigues you are all forms of learning. The important thing is to maintain a curious attitude and be willing to absorb as much as possible from the opportunities around you. Studying is also a gift you give yourself. By learning, you create a richer and more meaningful inner world, which inevitably reflects on the way you live and relate to others. You become someone more interesting, more aware, and better prepared to contribute to the world around you. Remember that knowledge is the only resource that no one can take away from you. It is yours forever, accompanying you through every stage of life. When you invest in yourself, you are building a personal legacy, something that will continue to bear fruit regardless of external circumstances. So invest in yourself, study, and allow yourself to grow beyond what you ever imagined possible. There is always time for change. Regardless of where we are in life, the circumstances we face, or how old we are, time never runs out of possibilities for starting over. We are often conditioned to believe that significant change can only happen at certain times. In our youth, at the beginning of a new year, or when conditions are ideal. But the reality is that change is available to us any day, at any time. We just have to decide and act. Fear, however, is one of the greatest enemies of change. It traps us in comfort zones that, although familiar, can be suffocating and unfulfilling. We ask ourselves, what if it's too late? What if I fail? But the truth is that staying in the same place, with the same problems and dissatisfactions, is the only true failure. Time is never a real obstacle. It is an ally for those who are willing to take advantage of it. Every day that passes represents an opportunity to make a different decision, to look at life with new eyes and to create something better for yourself. Many people believe that significant changes require grand gestures, but this is not always true. Sometimes, a small action, a seemingly simple choice, can trigger a profound transformation. It can be something as basic as starting a new routine, learning a skill, or simply changing the way you think about a problem. The secret is to start. Change does not happen instantly, but is the result of small steps taken consistently over time. It is also important to understand that we are never alone in this process. There are inspiring stories of people who transformed their lives even at times when everything seemed lost. Think of those who decided to start a new career at 50, go back to school at 60, or pursue a dream at 70. These stories show us that life doesn't have a fixed script. As long as we're alive, we have the ability to learn, grow, and reinvent ourselves. Another fundamental aspect of change is the ability to forgive yourself for the time that has passed. Too often, we get stuck in regrets. I should have started sooner, or I've missed too many opportunities. But carrying the weight of the past only prevents us from enjoying the present. Accepting that we can't change what's left behind, but that we have complete control over what we do from now on, is liberating. What matters is not when you start, but that you decide to start. In addition, it's essential to recognize that change doesn't have to be perfect to be worthwhile. Many people give up before even trying because they believe they can't do it all at once. However, the beauty of change lies in its imperfection. It teaches us resilience, patience, and the ability to adjust our plans as we go. Every little bit of progress is a victory, and when added together, these small steps create a huge impact. Perhaps the biggest obstacle to change is the mindset that time has already passed or that certain things cannot be changed. But life is incredibly dynamic. It presents us with new possibilities every day, often in ways we don't expect. Opening ourselves to these possibilities and being willing to try is what allows us to grow. Change is not a destination. It is an ongoing process. Even when we think we have achieved what we wanted, there is always room to evolve, learn, and discover new parts of ourselves. So if there is something in your life that is bothering you, if there is a dream you are afraid to pursue, or a part of yourself that you want to transform, remember that it is never too late. The perfect time for change is not in the past or the future. It is now. Time is a constant, and as long as we breathe, we have the ability to make choices that lead us to a more fulfilling and authentic life. True transformation begins when we believe that there is always time and that we are worthy of this change. So, did you like these steps? What stage of reinventing yourself are you in? What is the plan? Tell us.